Hopefully he'll pick up. John Dolmayan of System of a Down, now the second member of System of a Down we've had on the show.
Halfway there. Halfway to a complete set.
And then we'll go like former members.
But there were no former members.
I think they're never broken up.
I think he replaced a guy, but that guy was never on any recordings.
Hello, John?
Hello?
Hey, yeah. John, you're on the air with the Metal Injection Livecast. Thanks for taking the call. It's Rob here.
Hey, man. What's going on? What did I interrupt, guys? What did I interrupt?
Well, we were just wondering if there were any former members of System of a Down, because we were saying you're the second member of the band that we have on the show. I should also mention that there's three other people here. We have Darren, Sid, and Noah
Hello.
here.
Hello.
What's up, guys? What's happening? Yeah, there was a drummer before me, and a very good drummer. His name's Andy Khachaturian. Good luck spelling that last name. So yeah, there was one other. I mean, as far as I know, that was it. But I guess there is a potential that there was somebody else that I don't know. But the guys never told me.
I see. Yeah, that's what we were quickly debating right as you picked up. But thank you for hanging out. It's a trying time. Are you are you just? I'm assuming you're just hanging out at home. There's nowhere else to really hang out at the moment. It's been a weird few weeks. I feel a weird time to promote an album.
Yeah, well, actually, it's a great time because people have nothing to do, so they can sit at home and listen to stuff. You know,
that's a good point.
And catch up with their family. Honestly, I think there's a lot of positive that can come out of this. But at the end of the day, what I'm really concerned with is that people are financially going to be hit very hard. I don't want to see high unemployment levels. You know, I have a business that I run. We have 15 employees, and I'm doing the best I can to keep everybody employed. But you know, that's the only thing you're really concerned with during times like this. I don't know. I guess I'm not quite as afraid as other people are about the virus itself. You know, I feel like human beings are made to combat viruses. You know, we have systems in place in our bodies to combat viruses. But hey, it did get rid of. If there's one positive thing, the powers that be, it got rid of a lot of people that were protesting really fast. So I don't know. I question stuff and have my own theories on things. And people think I'm an idiot sometimes for it. But, you know, I also have a big imagination. You know, it's part of having that.
Oh, did we lose him?
Did we lose him?
Oh. It says he's still here.
No, I'm here.
Oh, okay.
Oh, hey.
Sorry, you cut out at the very end. But, yeah, so I'm a little, like, what do you mean by the the protesters?
Which
I guess
protesters did it get rid of?
Yeah.
Well, there were protesters in Hong Kong. There were protesters in France. There were protesters in Italy, Lebanon, Chile. There are protests happening worldwide, people demanding change from their governments. And, you know, it's just kind of convenient that there's a coronavirus and all those protests go away.
Oh, I see. So you think maybe it was engineered by those governments to kill off these people?
Or to just keep them off the streets.
Oh, now we definitely lost him.
Oh.
Hold on, let me give him a call back.
Listen, if those governments can engineer a virus, they could definitely engineer a call dropping.
Yeah, wait a minute. How convenient that as John is exposing this, the call gets dropped.
It's just weird timing, isn't it?
It's the coronavirus, am I right?
Hey, guys.
John, how convenient, just as you're exposing this. Yeah, this conspiracy, the government heard our phone lines and cut you off here.
Right away. You see how that works?
It's the phone virus. It's COVID-20. It just came out.
Listen, guys, I write for a hobby and actually started writing my own comic book that's going to come out in a couple months or so whenever this thing clears up.
That's awesome.
So I do have an active imagination and I see depth in things and reasons within reasons and stuff like that. So, you know, maybe I'm nuts or maybe my philosophies have a ring of truth in them, but I just think that there's interesting coincidences and convenient things that happen to motivate things. You know,
yeah.
World War I, started on an assassination attempt, right? Like, was that person assassinated by the people that wanted the war or people that didn't want it? You know, you have to think like, I don't know. There's just things that happen in history that are interesting that are hard to explain. Where do these viruses pop out of? It's not bats and shit like that. People in China have been eating that way for thousands of years.
Well, you know, like I certainly believe that like government, you know, I don't know how it started, but the governments definitely knew about it much sooner than they acted. I feel like even with our country, like we only started really being proactive about it earlier this month when they knew about it in January.
Well,
you know,
there's nothing China's going to do the first 2 weeks to stop people from buying and consuming Chinese products, right? Mm-hmm. They would prefer, this is my theory, they would prefer the entire world economy being bad than just the Chinese economy. You know, because what happens if we can't get our goods from China because there's a shutdown in China? Then we're going to get it from other places, their competitors. And once you develop supply chains from other places, then, you know, people get used to working with other people. They're not necessarily going to want to go back and work with China afterwards. So, you know, I think there's a whole political, global, financial thing you have to understand. They don't care about a couple million people dying. And I'm not just talking about China. I'm talking about governments in general, because they have to look at it like kind of like an ant colony. You know, it's more important for the ant colony to survive than members of the ant colony, including the queen. So everything they do is motivated in like the survival of the colony. And it's understandable, although it's not fun to think about things in those terms. But society is bigger than any single person that lives in a society.
Yeah, so, and I feel yeah, we could get off the coronavirus and move more to
hours.
Why don't you, Rob? Why don't you get off the coronavirus? I just got off yours.
Oh.
Hey. But I very much dig the album These Gray Men, and it's a fun project. It is a project of covers, and you know, I'm sure you've talked about it a bunch now, but you know, like, what made you decide to do a covers album? And with the songs that you picked, was it like you had these songs in mind to rework, or was it more you wanted to work with the artists that you collaborated with and you guys decided on a song?
It was really just by happenstance. You know, I'd be driving on long drives, listening to like a shuffle selection on either, you know, one of my devices or on radio, and just listening to songs at random. And I rediscovered a bunch of songs that I hadn't heard in a long time. Rediscovered for my love and passion for those songs, and also started to think about on these long drives, what would it have been like if those songs were presented to me? What would I have written as far as the drums are concerned? How would I have changed the arrangements? And that was the inception of it, you know, the idea. And going forward from there, I started thinking about, well, wait a minute, if I was the one that created the song, how would I play it? How would I arrange it? And who would I want singing on it? And then I started developing a list from there, started contacting some of the people that were on that list. Some of them were available, some of them weren't. Some of them didn't respond. And the selection that you're hearing is basically what I thought was the better work, the pieces that actually ended up working out to the point where it was different enough from the original to where I was also proud enough of the end product to put it out.
Yeah, and that's what I really appreciate about the covers is, you know, I kind of feel like it's cheating when a band does sort of a straight cover of a song. It's like, just listen to the original. What's the point of just re-recording a song that someone else did?
What is the point of your cover existing if it sounds exactly like the original?
Yeah,
what is the point?
And I feel like
that. The original.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like the original is. You know, what's the point of ever covering Led Zeppelin and doing it straight when you just go listen to Led Zeppelin? There's no need. Nobody can add anything to what they did with that music, for example. You know,
nobody did it better than the original, right? Mm-hmm. But then you have bands like Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, who did a bunch of covers, and they were phenomenal because they made it their own song. You know, so you had an original that somebody else did, and then you have their version, which becomes a second original in a lot of ways, because they put their own stamp on it, they put their own feel behind it, and really make it their own music, And look, everybody does things their way, If you want to be a band that does a cover exactly like, then go for it. But can't you just write your own songs if you want? If you want to have a hit, write your own song. If you're going to do a cover, make it special, make it interesting, make it you.
Yeah, and I feel that's something you've been doing for a really long time, even before this. Like with all the songs System of a Down covered, like they sound nothing like you guys sound nothing like the originals. Like with Metro and Snowblind, and even your Wu-Tang cover, which is one of my favorite all-time covers. So I feel like
that's probably actually the closest to the original.
Right. Yeah.
But still
heavy.
It's the closest, but it sounds nothing like.
Yeah, that song Metro. When I first heard it, I didn't realize it was a cover at first. I forget, it was like maybe on a soundtrack, or whatever. And then when I heard the original, I was like, I can't believe you guys got to where you did with that song based on the original is just a pop song. It's like a light rock song kind of.
Well, Hung Up is a pop song.
Right. Yes.
Hung Up is a pop song. The ABBA song that she sampled that Madonna sampled originally was a pop song as well. I'm a big fan of Sia. I might do a Sia cover at some point. To me, it doesn't matter what genre it is, what musical taste they have, where it comes from, what the inspiration was for them. You can take any kind of music and reimagine it and make it your own style, whatever that style be. And the more diverse your musical taste, the more chance you have of creating something that is diverse and interesting and can appeal to people's sensibilities concerning something original, something groundbreaking. And I think that's what I like to strive towards. I don't always accomplish it, but I strive towards it so that even if I fail close to the mark as opposed to not even having a mark in the first place.
Yeah, and even like with the Starman cover, I mean, to do a David Bowie cover, it takes a lot of balls, I feel, because he's so revered and that music is so set. And you guys kill it. Like, I love it. It's such a great interpretation. You did that with Surge, and it's a really fun listen, and it's not, it's a relatively quick listen, and it's a bunch of fun interpretations of classic songs, and some a little more obscure.
Yeah, I'm going to actually do some more modern stuff too. There's a Tool song that I want to cover, their last album. I'm going to have to shorten the song probably by like 5 minutes.
Yeah, that could be the whole album, basically.
There's a song by there's a song by The Weeknd that I really like that I want to cover.
Which one?
I'm doing this a little bit more.
That's cool. Yeah, The Weeknd is really. I think The Weeknd is one of the most original artists right now in like pop music. That's doing like really fun stuff that
I think it sounds a lot. There's a big 80s vibe in this particular song that I like. It's nothing I haven't heard before, but he's doing it again in his own way, right? Like,
right.
You're going to take, all of us take from the past, all of us take from our influences, and we regurgitate them into something that's different and original because it's us also, right? Like, I feel a lot of 80s vibe, early 80s vibe coming from The Weeknd, which is cool.
Yeah. And yeah, well, one other thing I wanted to mention, I know we said we were getting it off the coronavirus, but you guys do have, as System of a Down, have shows lined up for the summer. And like, have you thought about when it would feel safe to like go and play shows and gather in public again? And like, are there going to be any precautions, do you think? Or are you of the mind that like, we just got to go out there?
We're going to leave that to the local governments and municipalities. They're going to figure out whether or not it's safe for us to go. We're not canceling the tour as far as System of a Down is concerned. But if local governments feel that it's too dangerous to have it, then we'll figure it out. We have to postpone it. We'll see.
This is something I've wondered about, and not just with regards to concerts and stuff, but in general. Like, let's say, there's some date in the future where the government says, okay, these things can open now, and there's no more necessary quarantine, do you think there will be a lag time before people will still behave normally, even though they're legally allowed to go out and do these things?
I think it'll be like horses in a gate. As soon as that gate's open, they're going to run out. People are going to be sitting at home for a month, more than a month at that point. If it happens like in April, for example, they're gonna need to get the hell out of the house.
It's true.
Yeah, and
you're already seeing start to ignore the warnings. You know, it's already starting because I don't know, man. There's a lot of information out there. I don't know who's right and wrong, but
yeah, and there's a lot of information. A lot of people sitting around with plenty of time to consume as much information as they want on the internet. But what
Speaking of information, I don't know if you guys heard about this, but my dad tipped me to this today. If you eat ginger, it supposedly prevents you from catching the virus. So everybody eat a lot of ginger.
What if you eat a ginger?
How am I going to eat ginger if I can't go to my local sushi place?
That's true.
It's a good question. It's a good question.
I feel like wasabi can kill anything. Very strong.
You know what I heard? I heard that if you buy the new These Gray Men album, you have no chance of catching any STDs or coronavirus.
That's right. You need to stream it on a continuous loop 24/7 to avoid the virus.
It actually, you know what? It even allows you to pay your taxes in July this year instead of in April. So
wow.
A lot of benefits to buying my album.
Awesome. And it's cool. So you do want to make another one. It sounds like you're already contemplating different tracks. When you released this album, did you kind of get hit up by some of your friends being like, hey, why didn't you ask me? You know, I want to do a cover song with you or whatever, you know?
I wish they reached. I would love to hear from artists and be like, hey, I want to do it too. You know, like,
yeah,
that'd be an amazing thing. And I would actively find songs for them that I think would work, or collaborate with them on songs they wanted to do. I'm 100% open. I just don't get the offers. Mm-hmm. I think people look at System as like so different and you're like just on its own mountain that maybe they're afraid to do collaborations. But I can play any kind of music there is. There's no limitations to my drumming ability, and I'd be happy to pursue projects with anybody, from the pop world to the rock world. You know, I'm 100% open to that.
Well, Rob, you know guys in bands. Do you want to play middleman here and hook them up with some phone numbers?
I'm gonna reach out to The Weeknd. I don't know him, but I'll tweet him, and we'll make it happen.
Well, I'm gonna check over irrespective of whether he's involved or not, and I'm going to send it to him. I think he's going to enjoy it because I'm going to rip that song up. I'm telling you. You know, his drummer's good, but he's not ready for what I'm doing.
Cool. Well, we definitely look forward to hearing it. And John, thanks so much for giving us a bit of your time. The album is called These Gray Men.
Take care, guys. Thank you.
And thank you so much, and stay safe out there. And look forward to seeing you on the stage soon.
Right on, guys.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. That was John Dolmayan from System of a Down. And, of course, he's got his project that he's doing. These